So, Mario Kart. There are a lot of opinions on this game, huh? Some people love it, some people hate it, some people say it's too expensive, some people are selling their kidneys. To put it short, the Nintendo part of the internet has gone crazy over this game, and I'm just kinda here in the background just watching everyone throw poop at each other. As for me, I have not bought the game, I'm too poor. But looking at the gameplay of Mario Kart made me want to play a racing game. I wanted to experience something similar to it without having to destroy my wallet. So, after doing some quick searching, I found a masterpiece of a game. And no, it is not Sonic Cross Worlds. It is the beautifully magnificent Super Tux Kart. Okay, so most of you probably have no idea what this is, though you can probably guess from the mascot that it has something to do with Linux. But don't worry, you don't gotta bring out the terminal and start scripting your way into winning a race. This is just a little game that combines a bunch of open source mascots and puts them into a kart racer and just goes all crazy with them. Basically, it's Mario Kart, but with open source mascots. And I gotta say, they have a bunch of random ones that I never heard of. Now, I'm not too deep into all of these open source projects, but I just didn't know that some of these programs had mascots for them. Now, some of these mascots I know pretty well. Of course, we got Tux for Linux, we've got the GNU Go thing for the GNU project, and then of course I know about the GIMP and the XFCE ones, but then there are other programs that I know about but I never knew they had a mascot. Like for example, did you know that Blender's mascot is just a monkey? KDE. I have used that desktop before, but I never knew their mascot was this green thing. Nor did I know that Godot had a freaking anime girl as his mascot. And then you have Kiki. You know, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of a bad bit. Okay, so let's actually start talking about the game now. So first of all, how did I even find this game? Well, I was just looking through the software center and I found this game just available there. So it's kind of like a built-in Linux game. It's very easy to access from your package manager. And this game seems to be pretty popular, at least for the standards of Linux. It's got 200 reviews, most of them are 5 stars. And Mr. Burrito here really loves the game. He's telling you to throw away your too expensive Mario Kart for it. Man, this guy must have been Nostradamus because he predicted what was going to happen with Mario Kart 8. But should you actually throw away Mario Kart World for Super Tux Kart? Well, no, you shouldn't throw that shit away. That was like $80. So anyway, about the actual game, the first thing I was surprised about is the amount of content in it. Like there are a surprising amount of maps. And of course, most of these are locked because you have to play through the story mode to unlock them. But some of these maps look pretty good for a free game. This game also has a ton of different game modes. You've got the normal mode, the time trial, follow the leader, battle, soccer. Man, forget Rocket League. We've got Rocket League at home. Okay, so in all seriousness, even though it does have a bunch of game modes, most of them aren't that great, but we'll get to it. First, let's start off with the story mode. So, we see GNU flying on his magic rag like Aladdin, playing a song on his flute in a very Japanese-inspired place, because everything leads back to Japan. But then, this little guy appears in the background. He is Nuluk, the villain of this story. A flying fist came in and abducted him. And then Nuluk goes over to Tux with his flying fist thing and then starts bragging about how he kidnapped GNU.
Oh, what's wrong, little hippies? Your great new leader's missing.
And challenges Tux to a race.
You can beat me at racing. I will free the old cudger.
And Tux just kind of goes along with it and we start racing. Now after that, you are sent to an open world. That's right, this game had open world before Mario had HD. But anyway, the open world is just filled with a bunch of levels. And you have to beat them to unlock points, which then unlocks more levels. Now each level has 4 modes. 3 of them are unlocked from the start. Novice, Intermediate, and Expert. Now this is what Novice looks like. As you can see, it's quite easy. The AIs are very bad and you can get very far without any trouble. It's kind of like driving 10 miles per hour down a neighborhood with absolutely no cars around. But then this is what expert mode looks like. You move insanely fast. Like, I could barely control myself in expert mode. Now, of course, this is probably just because I'm not used to the controls yet, but also the controls are a little bit janky. Sometimes you just get stuck on a bunch of random stuff, especially when you're going so fast, you just cannot control yourself. This game truly feels like an old arcade game where you have to play the game good. If you mess up, you can basically say your run goodbye. And let me remind you, this is just expert mode. There is a higher difficulty above this. After a very humiliating loss, I decided to just take my losses and move on to a different track and play this one at intermediate. And this track was actually really cool. You're basically on a beach for half of the level, but there's a volcano next to you, so you end up going around the volcano for a bit until you go inside of the volcano. It was really cool, and I'm pretty sure Mario Kart has a bunch of tracks like this, but god damn it, this looked cool. I was surprised that an open source free kart racing game had levels this complex. Well, anyway, after that, we have this ancient Egypt level. And this one is a little bit different. It's not just a normal race. You have to beat the track in a set time. And you also have to collect a lot of nitro. Now, nitro is basically just these collectible items that you can toggle for a boost. And I gotta say, and I don't know why I found it so difficult, I failed a lot on this level. It is just very hard to make precise movements. You either go super hard left or super hard right, especially on the faster speeds, which meant that collecting these nitros was super difficult. And the thing that really kicked me in the shins was that I almost won in this one round. At this point I was so close to winning, I had to use a little bit of nitro to make it to the end. But I used just a little bit too much and ended up completely losing because I didn't meet the have 15 nitro requirement. Now I did beat this level one attempt later, but it still pisses me off because I could have had the perfect nail-biting victory. But anyway, the next level was a very normal racing level. And at this point I should probably start talking about the items. The main one is this bowling ball, which you just throw at people. It's kind of like a green shell, except it doesn't bounce around as much. Then you have this cupcake, which is basically like a grenade, and it just explodes on everyone, just like how EDP explodes on kids. Then you have some speed boosts, a shield, and this fly swatter, which you just whack people with. And honestly, this must be my favorite. I just love how it looks. You just have a fly swatter out and you just smack people with it when they get close to you. It's like an Asian parent smacking someone with their slipper. And then of course we got a basketball, which is kind of like a blue shell. Now one more item you have is this plunger, but I have no idea what it does. You just kind of throw it. And that's kind of it for the items. Yeah, this game unfortunately doesn't have that many items, but it is a free game, so you gotta take what you can get. But anyway, the normal racing mode is very fun once you start playing it. It takes a little bit to get used to the controls, especially on higher difficulties, but once you get used to it, it starts feeling great. Now, I didn't exactly finish the story mode. I only got a couple points into it, because I wanted to try out the online part of the game. Yeah, the game's servers don't seem to be that active. Not sure if I was just in a bad day or if many people aren't really playing online. I guess it makes sense. This is like a decade-old game that surprisingly still gets updates. It definitely has a dedicated community, even if it's quite small. But enough of that sappy stuff. We gotta talk about the other game modes. And I'm gonna be honest, they're not as fun as the normal game. Time trials are just like a worse version of the normal game. You don't get any items, so it's just a pure race. Then you have follow the leader, which is basically just following another person as they race. I don't really understand why it exists. Now the battle mode, that one actually has some potential. The only problem with it is that you don't have a lot of items. And then the one you've been waiting for, soccer. This just kind of sucks, man. I'm be honest, it kind of sucks. Like, it is nothing like Rocket League. The ball barely has physics. My first game of this was almost 10 minutes long. 10 minutes of just flopping around trying to get a ball into a goal. Yeah, this definitely won't be replacing Rocket League anytime soon. So, is this game better than Mario Kart? Yes. At least everything before Double Dash. Listen, this game definitely is not objectively better than the modern Mario Kart games. And I'm sure there are some people that would enjoy this game more, but I'm pretty sure 99% of people would just prefer Mario. But anyway, that's kind of it for this video. I just wanted to talk about this little Mario Kart clone that is themed around open source mascots. Also, since this game is open source, it has a bunch of add-ons and mods, so you'll never have to worry about running out of content for the game. There's practically an infinite amount of it. Anyway, that's it. Leave a like if you liked the video. Leave a dislike if you didn't. Subscribe if you wanna. And that's it.